Good morning. Hand today is going to be 7-6 of clubs. Under the gun limps, I isolate and he calls. So this isolation raise is probably a little loose, just like all the other ones. This player's playing 40-20, over 20 hands right now. We can see that it's 20% early position. He came in for a raise. It's basically one hand that he's played. So this is the first time that he's limped in early position. But he has limped one other time in mid position. So limp with previous limpers, 0 raise with previous limpers. He's going to have to limp first in. And we do have we have notes on him. So limp first in under the gun and then call the button 5 big blind ISO with aces. He's out of position. He check called 50%, check on an a6-3-9 queen. So he flopped trips and then it went running hearts on him. He just check called and never really. My guess is he probably would have checked raised a turn had it not been checked through. But we know he's going to have some of these premiums in there. So when building his range, I'm going to add 50% to these values, aces, kings, and ace king, thinking that he might use those as a check call or possibly even, a limp call or like a limp re-raise in early position. I don't think most players do that with these weaker hands, so I'm going to say he probably would have raised first in with those. I think suited aces probably is a limp first in, some small pocket pairs and everything. This is only 16%, so yeah, he is going to be playing a little bit loose. I think this is going to be okay. My range, this is my ISO range. You can see always versus optional. Again, this is probably where we can expand it to the always optional, because I think villain's going to have more of these weaker hands in his range and a lot fewer of these appear. So raising it probably could be okay to target it. However, he hasn't shown really any indication that he could fold to a raise. So I kind of feel like maybe we need to just do the always ISO and go after those weak hands with value and not so much try to get some fold equity. I included this total range because with 7-6, I'm going to guess at this time I was trying to expand and really try to loosen up my range, loosen up my stats. So we're gonna go off of this wider range. We see a flop of a6-3, 6 diamonds, 3 spades. He checks to us. He does have some aces. This board kind of hits us pretty good. We have middle pair. So I think when we look at our bluff to value range, I'm going to say that we don't really have a whole lot of semi-bluffs. We've got open ender and gut shot, and that's about it. We have to add in backdoor flush draws in order to get any sort of bluff range on here. So if we add all of those, that's at 32%, which gives us a value range of about 15%. So let's see if we can get 15%. If we do it with all top pair, it starts to become a little too much. So let's do that. Kind of bet with our ace-2, aces-2, ace-2, ace-4, ace-5. Those have some backdoor possibilities. Backdoor straight draws as well. We've got actually probably like ace-4, ace-5, ace-7 would be better. And then maybe like ace-jack plus, something like that. Maybe not all of them, but this is kind of the idea. And then like ace-10 to ace-8 could be a check, like a check behind and then call and flop and whatever. So I think this is probably a decent betting range, which only gets us to about 50%. And that's probably about right because we don't have a huge number. We kind of imagine that villain's going to be calling here with at least a top pair. If he doesn't believe us, He's going to call with some of these weaker pairs, and this is a 25 NL, so I kind of feel like he probably will be calling with one of these pairs because he knows I'm not always going to have an ace. So middle pair, maybe the bottom pair, we're going to give him the gut shots, maybe call with some of these backdoor 2-card flush draws, maybe like not all the aces, we want these, maybe something like that. So maybe 50% or something. I bet half pot. I could probably go down to a third pot. I think a third pot's still gonna get the job done. If he wasn't gonna call with like tens or nines, he's gonna fold to a third pot bet. So I think we could do a third. I think a 1/3 pot bet would be okay. He calls, so we got it on there. Turns the 9 of hearts. He checks to us. No big surprise. So now it's on us. That doesn't really improve us. Not our hand, anyways. It could improve our flush draws. So I think when we look at it, we're going to be betting our flush draws, our open enders. I think we have some value for those. I think we get some value for our top pair type hands. But I think at this point, we're not going to be doing these small ones. I think ace king, ace queen is going to get a little bit of value. And then we're going to need some other hands. So we've got a 9 out there. There's no straight. Well, I guess 7-8, you've got your open ender out there. But for us, like an ace 10, ace 8, none of those are going to connect. So maybe we do ace king, ace queen, and then possibly like ace jack again. That still gives us, I think, way too much value here. So like ace queen, maybe a check here, just to kind of get a half and half. So I think that's going to be our bets. What do? I checked, and I think that's going to be the appropriate play for us. We do have protection with our mid pair by all of these top pair type hands. So we're not just giving up at this point. I do think we've got some gut shots as well. So we check, villain checks. So he's got 100% of his range here, and then the queen. This looks like the hand we just went over. So I'm guessing he has the trip. So I would say probably the nut flush is going to be betting here. I'm going to actually discount those. Let's say 50%. Let's just say 50%. I think he should be betting the flush. I think a lot of players aren't going to be betting anything else here. So I guess when he checks, he could have all of that. So 96.8%. He checks to us. What do we bet? I think we go for a little bit of value with 2 pair. He's been calling all the way. Kind of suggests that he probably has an ace. So I think we can get some value with 2 pair. And I think we can get some value. Maybe some small value with ace jack would be a bet. I think ace 10. I think these other have some showdown value. I don't think I'm going to get the aces to fold. So I think we check behind with those. And then something, the question is, what else does he have in his range? The weak pairs. Once we check, is he going to give those up? It's going to be hard. So I think we just exploit. Yeah, we should have some of these misdraws, maybe like a 10-8 or something like that. With that gut shot, that could be a bluff and everything. But I think I'm gonna be okay with the check, which is what I do. So I checked and he had the aces. So he showed the aces. This was the hand. We already had it. Let's fix that though, because this was in the cutoff, not the button. We already had that. So I played it. I felt like I played it okay. Let's see what GTO says here. So I already had it set up. We already have villain checking. So on this, our betting is about 1/3 pot. 33% is favored. That is right. Half pot's less favored. We're betting about 40%. So I think I'm high. I'm a little high on my what I predicted would be my bet. We've got, we're usually betting sets. We're usually betting 2 pairs. The top pair where we start to check. And let's look at our top pair. So like ace, king, queen, aces, king, or I should say ace, king, ace, queen, ace, jack seem to be the bet, and then we check. So GTO doesn't have that ace 2, ace 4, ace 5. Okay, I had it in there, so that's going to be some checks. They also have a few 7s, 8s, and 9s. I didn't really have those. And then he included the middle pair. I think our middle pair would be some bluffs. Did I even get to there on mine? Yeah, because I had it like backdoor potential. Actually, no, I didn't. 7, 6 of clubs. Let's see what the 7, 6 of clubs are. So still had it bet. We're favoring the backdoor draws. Okay, so 7, 6 clubs is somewhat of a bet. And on this, you could see that 1/3 seems to be favored with a few, the smaller sizes. But we could sometimes bet, we could sometimes check. And we're betting our open ender and our gut shots, but we're not doing it with all of our 2-card backdoor flush draws. So we've got some that we're doing it with, like some of our aces, ace 6, ace 3. Those are 2 pair. Top pair, ace jack, ace 10. Some of the ace 10s. Okay. Oh yeah, 7, 6, 8, 6. Okay, so those middle pair with the backdoor, we're more likely to bet those. Like 5 4s, so combos. We've got some of the king 10, some of the king 9, king 8. Okay, so those could be good bluffs. 7 5, so our gut shots. Okay, so I'm kind of getting an idea here. It's not just across the board, but hands that are behind or that also have some other combo draws. Okay, so let's say we bet, which is kind of what we did. He calls, and it was the 9 of hearts. He checks 100%. What do we do it? So now at 7 6 we check. With the hearts we bet. So the flush draw we bet. Open ender straight we mostly bet. We do have some checks here. We are mixing in some checks. So we have 3 of a kind, 2 pair. Top pair, some of our top pair continues. Ace king. Okay, so I thought that's what we were going to be doing. Continuing bet with the ace king. Okay, so we checked again. Now villain should be betting at this point. So he should have check raised at some point. Gets the ace out. And then for us, we check behind. So GTO kind of agrees with how we played it, which is good. So I'm happy with how I played it. We were aggressive. He had the aces. Probably should have check raised us on the flop. He didn't. So that allowed us opportunity to try to improve, but it would have been a long shot. We needed runners. Basically needed 4 and a 5 for straight or running 6s. But in any case, I think we played it okay. So hopefully we learned something. Should I have played this hand in the first place? Probably not. I think we should tighten it up, but it is what it is. All right, hopefully you enjoy this hand. If you do, look tomorrow for another.